always someone else behind, left behind, you keeping watch. A common ground holds us apart, and who's to know we've played our part, and you forget what you've been told. And in our hearts and in our minds, it feels like we're burning up, like it's the end.
I'm Nicholas Ho, 40 years old this year, and I'm married.
Harold Gan, 40 years old, currently married with 3 kids.
Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm 18 this year, and I'm single.
Hi, my name is Jackson Hautini. I'm 39 years old, married with 2 children.
Well, basically this is an Audi S3 2007 model.
I drive a Lamborghini Superleggra and a Porsche Turbo S.
Parasite, never giving away.
Okay, this is a Porsche 997 GT3 Mark 1.
I guess the interest was gained primarily from my dad, who was crazy about cars when I was a kid. The interest grew along, and he actually took me go-karting when I was a lot younger once in Kallang those days. It all started from there, and it grew to becoming what it is today.
The motorsport hobby, well, I was always interested in cars. Always liked them as a kid, used to push them around a lot. My dad was very much into cars. He always had a sports car in the family. As I grew up, basically, I just got interested in the cars as a result of that.
Actually, I started since 1990s when my father brought me to the Kallang motorsport track when it was still the old Kallang. Yeah, we were there every weekend racing actually. Yeah, we have a race car last time. So after we sold it.
I've always liked cars since I was young, so that was, and then I owned my first fast car. That was back in 2004. It was a BMW M5. That's how it all started, really.
I guess it's more a want rather than a need.
Very much more of a want, definitely not a need. It's just something that if you've got the extra money, then it's something that it's nice to spend on.
When it comes to cars like this, it has to be a want. It's never a need. It only comes in Singapore, very expensive.
But looking at this, not that flashy, but it's still a want at the end of the day. Basically, if you're speaking primarily about this Audi itself, it's more on the cost of the aftermarket parts and basically wear and tear spare parts itself. I guess everyone would know this. It's definitely a lot more than a Japanese car would actually cost.
Trying to come up with the money. That's probably the hardest part. And not crashing the car.
I'll tell you what, it's a fast car, and I guess probably the biggest challenge is to drive within the speed limit, really.
As for wife, she's totally in support to my interest in motorsports. So I guess basically I've got the best of everyone's blessing, you can say that.
They let me spend the money on the car, and I think that's pretty much it, rather than going to the kids' education.
Actually, my dad discouraged me from driving. Mom's the one that asked me to drive. Yeah, in Sepang, my dad went to the toilet, my mom said, just take the car out, let's go. Then from there on, I started all my motorsport hobbies, getting more into it.
It's quite understanding. I mean, the beginning was a bit difficult because you try to strike the balance on what you want to do with the family and how you want to pursue your hobby. It was a bit difficult in the beginning, but overall, things get better and it worked out fine.
Because you're beautiful.
Absolutely. I think when I first started off here in Singapore 15, 16 years ago, I used to see all the people driving their Honda Civics on the street, and I used to admire that a lot. I was very, very admiring anyone that basically had a car. I couldn't cough up any money for it. But I think as luck would have it, work and all that, you work hard, you end up getting some lucky breaks, and if you've got the extra money once you've saved enough for the family, that's what you can then start spending your money on. But it's definitely not something that I would say be aiming for first before getting a house or anything else.
Decided to go crazy and try myself in drifting, and soon after I realized I got the hang of it, and it became a passion of mine for a good 2.5 to 3 years. It was also competitive for me, doing a lot of competitions in Malaysia.
Actually, it's the adrenaline rush because we have been to Sepang every month, so every time getting to sit many different cars, for Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Porsches, and
Tell you what, when you want to pursue your passion, everything just seems to make sense.
I guess a lot of time and effort has been put in through the years. Fiddling around with cars, understanding it, making mistakes, spending a lot of money, like basically going around the whole circle again.
Again, I think it's options. So it's, do I spend the money on this? Do I spend it on more holidays, going overseas? Maybe those are the sort of sacrifices we make. But I think as long as you can draw that happy medium where you have enough money to spend on the family, on the education for your children and all that, then this becomes something that you can spend on. But definitely, it should not be the first priority for anyone.
As long as you work hard for it and you get rewarded for it, then you get something out of it, really. But just remember, nothing comes free, so something has to come from the effort.
I don't want to sound like a grandpa, but you know what the old folks always say: work hard, study hard.
Listen to your parents, study hard, work hard. I never believed in that when my parents were telling me that, but it's the fact, and everything else follows after that.
Okay, like I said before, you only live your life once, then what you can do is that you make sure you work hard for it, you get rewarded for it, and then anything in life is possible.
It takes 2 years to be a very good driver sometimes, maybe 3 or 4. But to be a really very professional driver, you can start young. So start now.